Welcome back to MathsDoc. Today we are going to move on to how to find the standard deviation of a group data. I believe that we've gone through a lot of lessons. Before we continue, I want you to subscribe, click on the notification, and send and share to your friends for them to also enjoy the lesson. Let's start with this example. Now we have this expression of values that we are supposed to calculate its standard deviation. Now you have given a group data from 1 to 10, 11, 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, 51 to 60, 61 to 70. We are supposed to find the standard deviation. So we have our F here. Let's move on. So let's create additional table. Now, the first thing that you're supposed to find is the class midpoint because you need to get a given value in order to be able to compute with your frequency. So all these values have to be getting a midpoint. So the midpoint, let's have our midpoint. And the midpoint becomes your x. And how do you do that? You just add the limit, the lower limit and the upper limit together, and you divide it by 2. So let's do that. 1 plus 10 will give you 11 divided by 2. You are going to have 5.5. So let's get that. So here I'll give you 5.5. Computing with your calculator. 11 plus 20 divided by 2. That will give us 15.5. 21 plus 30 divided by 2. That will give you 25.5. 31 plus 40 divided by 2 will give you 35.5. 41 plus 50 divided by 2, that will give you 45.5. Then 51 plus 60 divided by 2, that will give you 55.5. And then this will give you 61 plus 70 divided by 2, give you 65. You see a pattern, so it will give 65.5. Now let's also get our frequency, the total frequency. You need to add the frequency, so you have 3 plus 5 plus 4 plus 7 plus 3 plus 6 plus 2. And that give you 30. So summation of the frequency will give you 30. So we have our fx, and then so now let's get our s squared. So we are going to square all these numbers. Meaning you are going to square all these numbers. Then when you are done, you multiply this by that. So squaring the numbers, you are going to have 5.5 squared will give you 30.25. 30.25. 15.5 squared will give you 240.25. You have 25.5 squared will give you 650.25. 35.5 squared will give you 1260.25. You have 45.5 squared will give you 2070.25. Then 55.5 squared will give you 3080.25. And then 65.5 will give you squared will give you 4290.25. You see, so that is it. You have that. But remember, When we are finding mean, you also need to get your fx, because we know that mean is summation fx over summation f. So when you multiply the value here, you are going to have 3 times 5.5. So we are multiplying this to give you the fx. So 3 times 5.5 will give you 16.5. Then 5 times 15.5 uh, will give you 77.5. Then have 4 times 25.5 will give you 102. Then have 7 times 35.5. We have 248.5. Then we have 3 times 45.5. Then we have 136.5. Then also multiply this by that, you have 6 times 55.5. That'll give you 333. And then last one, 2 times 65.5 will give you 131. So let's do the summation. We are supposed to summation fx. So we are adding all these numbers. Okay, so you need to add all these numbers. So have 16.5 plus 77.5 plus 102 plus 248.5 plus 136.5 plus 333 plus 131. So you have 1045. Now the last one is you have your fs squared. It means you are multiplying this by the s squared. So f times the s squared. You have the s squared here. So the s squared, that is what we are going to have here. So multiplying that, let's do that quickly. So you have the f, which is 3 times 30.25, right? So when you multiply 3 times 30.25, you're going to get 90.75, right? So we get 90.75. Then on and on, 1 to 0. We have 1.25. Then we have 2601. Then we have 821.5, 0.75. Then we have 6210.75. We have 18481.50. And then we have the last one, we have 2 times 4290.25. So that'll give you 88580.5. So adding that also, summation fs squared, means when you add everything, you are going to get 45987.50. So getting all these values, you can now calculate for your mean. So let's do the mean. The mean is summation fx over summation f. So summation fx is given you by 1045 over 30. So we have s bars give you 1045 divided by 30. That'll give you 34.83. Now we have to remember how to find the standard deviation. So the standard deviation SD is the summation. Now remember, is summation f is all squared over summation fs squared. So that if you remember the formula, we have this value there, summation fs squared over summation f and then summation fx all squared. So substituting that values, that's the formula. If you remember, you need to keep the formula. So we put in the values, 4, 5, 9, 8, 7.5 over the 30 minus, let's substitute the summation f, which is 101045 over 30 all squared, all squared. So I think, so you just punch the value in your calculator. So standard deviation, when you punch the value in your calculator, you will be arriving